other living spaces. So part of permaculture is, it's not all about gardens. That's a common misperception about it, but it's about the entire way you live in the community, in your house, in your block. And that includes looking at what spaces could be used or put to good purpose. One of the things we've been loving, we've been in Melbourne in lockdown for going on 200 days. Bit crazy. So the whole family's been stuck together. And this fire pit has been amazing because we can't go out on the weekends or any time. So just having fires and sitting around, drinking a homemade beer or wine, chatting to the kids, it's been absolutely amazing. So if you can set up a fire area, brilliant. Of course, the bathtub is another beautiful thing to do, and it's right near the house. So technically you could have a fire going and people sitting around here and people lying in the bath with their bathers on, of course. And then down here, got the chooks also near the house. But this is the pathway to our undercover porch area. So this is a way, we've got a fairly small house and we have a lot of people over and the kids do too. So this was a way we had of extending the space a little bit. Around this path there are, as you can see, just mountains of flowers. There's a couple of veggie gardens there with more peas, ornamental grape. This is where I put a lot of the flowers just because they're so pretty. And you may have noticed a lot of strawberries too. So the idea is that these are mountain strawberries, alpine strawberries, as well as conventional ones. But the idea is that as you walk down the path to the house, you can grab a strawberry or two and pop it in your mouth. But this is our undercover sitting area. It's super comfortable. We just hang out here a lot. When the weather's beautiful, it's good. When the weather's not so good, we've got these roll-up blinds that we have them on each side of this space, so it can actually be an enclosed space. And if we wanted to, say if we were having a party and it started raining or something, we could open those French doors and the warmth from the air conditioner would also head into this area. This is also where I keep the subtropical plants. So these ones are Tamarillo, that's the one on the right. It's a bit hard to see against the backdrop of the shade tree, but that's a tree tomato. And this one, it has died off because of winter. It does that every winter, but it's a babaco, which is also known as a champagne fruit plant. The reason those are here under this tree is to try and give them shelter from frost. They're very frost sensitive. So walking through that front porch area, just out this side door where there's also a blind. This is my sort of practical area, you could say. You can see the mushroom setup that I've talked about in the mushroom section. We've also got, this is where our front door used to be before we put in the French doors, and that stores all of our equipment. And this is all our other sort of, I don't know, blood and bone and diatomaceous earth for the dusting the chook shed and all my saved seeds and things like that. And on the other side is my seedling raising area. It's always quite nicely sheltered because of all the plants on the other side, and of course all the baskets. Kids tell me I've got a basket fetish, which is totally true, but honestly, there are so many things you can use a basket for. And I've got a lot of seedlings here ready to go out. They're the summer ones, and I've said before that it's right on that sort of changeover period between winter and summer. So I'm going to have to go through and probably pull out some broad beans. I'll just see which ones have produced the most already and sacrifice them to make way for this new stuff, because I really don't have much space left in the garden until I do that. Then just heading out of this part, that's the path that leads to those mushrooms around the side. But again, north facing wall, I couldn't resist putting some things here. Again, this is just raising, propagating plants, mostly from cuttings that I've taken. But this was something we found on Free Goods. Someone was offering it. I don't know if you can tell from this, but that is, what's it called? Aggie pipe? No, not Aggie pipe. It's the stuff that you put in drains, and it's got edges, end pieces that fit into it. And someone had obviously gone to a lot of trouble to string some of these together with metal joining all the sections. The metal goes straight through each one, and they were giving it away. So I was like, absolutely, let's try it. And I put a whole lot of strawberries in there, and as you can see, they're just going crazy. Plus, this is all, don't know if you've ever seen strawberry runners, but this is what I mean by strawberry runners. So they just keep producing, trying to find more places to embed themselves. I just try and give them away or plant them in other places in the garden. We're going to be inundated by strawberries once they all ripen. And further around here, just act like a, some potting mix, a whole lot of sawdust for the chooks. I buy coconut coir in bulk, so I was talking about that as something that absorbs water, and so each of my above ground beds has about a quarter of the contents of it is coconut coir, just to keep moisture. And then around the corner is those mushrooms. Our whole family is we just love cooking and making our own things, making beer, making wine, preserving, all that stuff. So a while back we realized that this porch wasn't filling our needs as well as it pretty easily could. It used to be just this little eave that sheltered it from the weather, and as you can see, we look out where it's on a hill. This is the back end of the house. It's quite high up off the ground, and it just wasn't somewhere you could sit or even do anything, because it'd be windy and wet. But what we did is we had a builder just extend the deck, not the deck, the covering, and that has been the best thing we did. We also got a second-hand sink set, like a kitchen sink. It already had these cupboards underneath it, and right behind it, behind those windows, that's our kitchen sink windows. So there's plumbing already right there. He just attached this new sink on. We have hot and cold, and this then is our outdoor preserving and DIY food and drink area. This is great for a number of reasons. One is that it's really messy when you do it inside. Like if you've made beer or wine, you're always spilling it. There's always a mess. There's lots of water everywhere. Well, at least there is when we do it. Same with preserving. And like I said, our house isn't that big. So once you start on a big project like that, the kitchen gets full really quick, and then you can't do anything else in it either. So by moving all of that out here, it's just been fantastic. So I'll start at one end. This is our back door. That's our sitting spot. That's just beautiful for looking out over the gorgeous trees. This is just storage area for our egg cartons, microwave. And this is the new sink. It's got hot and cold water. And that's where these are beer bottles waiting to be washed, and wine bottles that a friend gave us that are waiting to be washed. But we've also got all our, like our Fowler's lids and things in here. This is cookie cutters, muslin cloth. It's basically just a way that we've found to get things out of the kitchen that don't need to be there. I'm always saving bottles, so whenever we do a tour of the house and garden, I'm giving away sourdough and kombucha starters and things. So they always, you'd think that there might be too many, but no, they always go. Just random other stuff. Washing machine. Most people's washing machines aren't outside, but we don't really have room for it inside. Don't have a laundry as such, so if it was inside, it would be in the kitchen, and we'd rather use that space for other things. So it's perfect out here. Having said that, our clothesline is just around this corner outside, so it's actually perfect. My dad built that when we first moved in here. It's a European style laundry. It's quite high up, so we do have sacrificial clothing things that fall down, but it's nice and close to the washing machine. And this is where we store all our, so we've got some kegs ready to go, some wine kits ready to go, extra flagons because I've started making fruit wine, the beer enhancer, dehydrator, soy milk maker, just different bits and pieces. Our daughter is really into these little things. She gets them at the op shop and she just really loves them. So she's got a donut maker and a waffle maker and a fairy floss maker. And we encourage her. We reckon it's great to learn how to cook, doesn't matter what. That's all our beer equipment and winemaking equipment. And just whenever we have empty bottles, we store them out here and eventually fill them into crates and take them down the stairs, which I'll show you next. So once you're down the stairs, as I've said, our house, the back of it is on stilts. The house is on quite a slope, so the front is ground level, but the back is on stumps. And that gives us an amazing opportunity to have under the house storage. So this is where all our stuff goes once we've made it. And it's a lovely feeling just having all of that stuff there. We can, anytime we're visiting someone, we can easily grab a bottle of wine to take over. The olives are still curing. Hopefully they're tried a few different methods. Went to a local olive orchard this year and picked a bunch of olives. That was lovely of them. But yeah, homemade wine, different kinds, and beer, cider, ginger beer. So we label them, each kit, so we know what's there.